Greetings of the day. Myself Dr.Geethu and Mathew. I belong to Department of Management, Kristu Jayanti College, Autonomous. Today I would like to discuss with you a topic related to Contract Act. So what is Contract Act? So Indian Contract Act 1872. Some of you are familiar with the law topics, you will be knowing about this act at least. So Indian Contract Act 1872 clearly lays down the rules and regulations for parties who are going to enter into contract. So Contract Act is particularly related to mercantile law or business law. So in a business, definitely there will be transactions between two parties. So a contract to be enforced, there should be two parties, one party to offer, another party to accept the offer. So according to Indian Contract Act 1872, a contract is defined as an agreement enforceable by law. So it is an agreement at the same time, it should be enforceable by law also. When we speak about agreement, there are two major types of agreement, social agreement and formal agreement. You and your friend agreed upon going for a dinner night. Okay, so that's a social agreement. Your friend told that they will arrive at a particular place on so and so time. So your friend came, but then they came late or they didn't come at that particular time. You cannot go and sue against that friend, right? So that is a social agreement. Whereas a formal or legal agreement which is backed by law is called contract. So any essence of an agreement is definitely meeting of minds. As I told, there should be definitely two parties to a contract, one party to give the offer, other party to accept the offer. So these two parties definitely should have meeting of minds, that is called consensus ad idem. So one party who is offering, another party who is accepting, they should do it with free will. Nobody should be forcing them. Nobody should be forcing them to enter into a contract. So the agreement to become contract must give rise to legal obligations or duty. So this is a backdrop of a contract. So today particularly we are going to discuss different types of contract. So contracts are divided into different types on the basis of three: formation, validity and performance. So what is contract based on formation? So let's see, based on formation, there is express contract, implied contract and quasi contract. So what is express contract? As I told you, two parties enter into a contract, they explicitly lay down the rules and regulations and both the parties sign on a contract, it is express contract. Then what is implied contract? Implied contract is nothing but it is based on the conduct of the parties. I'll give you an example, a very quick example so that you can understand. You are going to a restaurant to eat food. So some restaurants are there where you pay money in advance. Other than that, there are restaurants you go, you order the food, you eat the food and finally only bill will come. When bill comes, you cannot deny that I won't pay, because when you entered into a restaurant only, you understand that there's a service, it is not free of cost. I have to eat the food and then I have to pay the money. So that is what is implied contract. So the difference between express and implied is, express is like suppose a sale agreement between party A and party B. A agrees to sell goods to B. So they have agreed upon terms and conditions, offer is made, acceptance is done, contract is done. That is basically express contract. Whereas implied contract, you go somewhere and you enter into a bus, public transport. After some time only conductor will come and ask you for the ticket. That time you cannot say the conductor that I will not pay the money, because the moment you enter in the bus, you have implied contract that it is a paid. Right, it's a paid service. So services will come under implied. Then what is this quasi contract? Quasi contract is really interesting if I tell you an example. You ordered a food from Swiggy and what happened? The delivery executive delivered the food in another apartment. Okay, and that person who took the food have ate the food also. So basically that other party who ate the food has an obligation to pay for it. Understood? So the definition goes like this. There are certain transactions which cannot be strictly called contracts but which create peculiar obligation. Somebody have wrongly credited money in your bank account. You understood that it is not my money, but still you spend it out. But later on, they found out that it's a wrong credit. The bank approaches, you are the account holder, has to liable to pay the money back. That means certain transactions later on create peculiar obligations. Their obligations will make a contract. So that is quasi contract. So based on formation, there is express, implied and quasi. So let's move forward. Based on validity, there are majorly four types of contract. Valid contract, voidable contract and illegal contract. So what is valid contract? So valid contract is a contract is said to be valid if there are 9 essential elements are present. So section 10 of Indian Contract Act 1872 lays down 9 essential elements for a valid contract. So all the 9 elements are present, we can say that it is a valid contract. What are the 9 essential elements? It is offer and acceptance, intention to create legal relationship, lawful consideration, capacity of parties, free and genuine consent, lawful object, agreement not declared void, certainty and possibility of performance, and legal formalities, which we have already discussed in another lecture. So all these 9 essential elements should be present when a contract is a valid contract. Then what is void contract? So void contract is nothing but a contract which was enforceable in the beginning, and after some time which became unenforceable due to some reasons. So there's an example for void contract, a contract trade agreement between two countries. You are doing trade transactions, export, import and all, but currently there's a war happening between your country and that particular country. So that particular country immediately became an alien enemy for our country. So an alien enemy we cannot enter into, or we cannot continue with any contract. So that is what is void contract. Then voidable contract. See, void contract and voidable contract is a little confusing concept. So what is voidable contract? Voidable contract is nothing but, I'll give an example. A agrees to sell goods to B. When A is selling the goods, B understood that as per the contract, the quality is not there. B have asked for some other goods and the quality is not given, and the particular quality is not there. So B became an aggrieved party. Aggrieved party means affected party. B is approaching the court for cancelling the contract. That is called voidable contract. Contract is entered, but one party, due to a non-performance or due to a following of the criteria of the contract, one party get affected, and that affected party is approaching the court and cancelling the contract. It is voidable contract. Next, the fourth one based on validity is illegal contract. Illegal contract is nothing but it is a contract which is made on some fraudulent activity. It is illegal in nature. In India, there are many things in Indian law it is illegal. So in Indian law, whatever it is illegal contract. Any fraudulent activity, law to do a theft, law to do some, something with a fake currency note, everything is illegal document. Even though you fulfill all the legal formalities, it's a legal contract. So the last classification is based on performance. It's very simple. Based on performance, contracts are 4. Executed contract, executory contract, unilateral contract and bilateral contract. What is executed contract? A contract is already done, finished. A agreed to sell goods to B, A sold the goods, B paid the money. Contract is done, it is executed. Then what is executory? Both the contract is entered and signed, but the act related to the contract is yet to be performed. It is executory contract. The executory contract will happen in a future date. Okay. Then what is this third one? Unilateral contract. A agrees to sell goods to B. A sold the goods, but then it is for credit. B is being given 1 month time to pay the money. So that is unilateral, right? So unilateral contract, A agrees to sell goods to B, B didn't pay the money. So one party have already performed the responsibilities related to a contract. It is unilateral contract. And what is bilateral contract? Bilateral contract and executed contract is somewhat similar. Bilateral, both the parties are done with the responsibilities. So there are the 4 types of contract based on performance. So we were discussing about different types of contract. So contracts are classified on formation, validity and performance. So under formation, it is express contract, implied contract and quasi-contract. And based on validity, it is valid contract, voidable contract and illegal contract. And the third classification based on performance, it is executed contract, executory contract, unilateral and bilateral. So that's all for today. So let's see in the next session. Thank you all.